Well, we had the first rates decision by Michelle Bullock, the new RBA governor, this week. It was to keep them on hold. There is speculation, though, perhaps there's another rate hike or two, and that's because of the latest inflation data. Joining me now is Graham Richardson for his regular take on all things politics. Richo, thanks for your time. I'm sure, you know, when we spoke last time, we were talking about Labor sort of quietly celebrating that maybe the inflation story has been run and won, but there might be some anxiety now, several thoughts that, you know, predictions there could be more rate rises. And if they happen, this soft landing is going to be in trouble.
Well, I think more rate rises are probably inevitable. So it's not something that Labor can hold off. It's just going to happen. But I think they've done well enough to be able to see that off. I don't see that being a permanent problem for Albo or Jim Chalmers. They can get through it. I think, you know, if you've got a record of these things happening again and again and again, then you get into strife. But I think Labor's a long way from that yet.
Yeah, and I guess this will all play into what happens after October 14, that we're assuming it will go down, but regardless, people will say, OK, this has been spoken about a lot. It doesn't mean this is all politicians have been focusing on, but it's been so much of the debate, in particular over the past few weeks. There'll be a lot of people saying, right, what are you doing about this? What is your plan on cost of living as you try to manage that alongside the spectre of inflation? And you know, they're going to want to hear some solutions rather than, look, we're just in a holding pattern for now.
Yeah, I think Labor's got to do better than just give a commentary on what's happening. Labor's got to be doing something about it. And that's something that, you know, we'll see over the next coming weeks to see whether that happens. But I think, you know, on the record so far, they've done OK. So you assume that the Brains Trust there have got something in store for us.
Your comment there, you can't just be a commentator on things. I mean, it alludes to the fact that if you go back over the past few months, there wasn't a lot Labor could do, because if you spend money on things that's inflationary, even though there's a bit of a spectre of inflation now, there's a bit less of a hold on them, I guess, and also they're able to maybe detail plans. And look, maybe this is mainly the budget next year, but start to talk about how they'll get people in a better position leading up to the next election.
Yeah, you're caught coming and going here. You want to spend money to make people feel better and to give them a better life, but you also know that if inflation gets out of control, you're going to get blamed for it, and you can lose office. So it's a two-edged sword, and they've got to be very careful about how they handle it. But you know, as I said, if you look at the past, they've done OK. So I have faith in them. I believe it'll be all right.
As we look at the Voice campaign, there's been a flurry of activity late. We're seeing a lot more things in the past couple of weeks. You know, marches showing big support. I do often think in politics things can be self-fulfilling. I'm always struck by the fact that the one poll, if you ask people, that's always accurate is not who they support, but who they think will win government next, is almost always accurate. And so all the talk in the past few months of, well, the Voice is losing support and is doomed, has been self-fulfilling. Is that going to be looked back upon as the biggest mistake, that they thought, let's wait till Parliament stopped and we'll have this 4 weeks of clear air and build momentum, that they allowed too much momentum to be lost?
Yeah, I think that's fair commentary. I don't believe that the Voice has been handled well. I think it's been botched from the first moment. You know, Albo has got a stellar record, and so he can probably afford to stuff something up, and this has been stuffed up. There's no doubt about that.
You're a student of the history of politics, and you look at the failed referendums, including in the 80s, with a very popular Prime Minister. Doesn't it just go to show that even though it wouldn't have suited Anthony Albanese to be trying as much as possible to get on the same page as Peter Dutton, that really was the main chance for this to succeed? And once that didn't happen, and there was a period where it could have, but once it didn't happen late last year, that was really the beginning of the end?
Yeah, you know, obviously, if you look at the record, if you haven't got bipartisan support, then referendums are going to be knocked down every time in Australia. It's just one of those things where you've got a number of states that never vote for them, and unfortunately, therefore, if you want to put something up, you've got to put up something that's really attractive to people. whereas we're putting something up that just doesn't matter to most. That's the problem here. Most people just don't care.
And how do you think this will wash out for Peter Dutton? On one extreme, is this just another wrecker? On the other, is he really tapping in better to the sentiment of the Australian people, or maybe something in between?
To be fair to Dutton, I think the latter is probably more true than the first. I think he's tapped into a vein here, and he's going going well. He's using it to great effect. So that's the job of an opposition leader. So I think if you're looking at Dutton at the moment, you've got to go tick.
Graham Richardson, great to get your thoughts. Thank you.